Hello, everybody. Okay, I am very excited to talk about today's episode because we're talking all about the burnout cycle, the hustle burnout cycle, and this need of needing to become productive and feeling like you can't rest. Okay, and I think it's very, very important to talk about. I want to bust three beliefs that you might have picked up growing up about productivity, about making money, about creating success, and what that looks like. Three very common beliefs that you might be subscribed to, whether it is picked up from your culture or adults around you growing up, or just, inherently, it's just rooted in the system of capitalism and from a lot of systems of oppression, colonialism, this almost like this exploitative behavior and the tendency and the patriarchy. All of this is all plays a part in making us feel like we have to always be working, we have to always be productive, because guess what, if we don't work and produce, then somehow we're not of value, right? This is like a very deep rooted beliefs that is really, really ingrained in us and what we see around us, what our parents tell us, the culture of which everything is built upon. And so if you're feeling constantly tired, if you're feeling like you're always hustling and then burning out and you don't really know why this is happening, this is why, right? And this idea that you have to continue to produce, you have to become productive, you have to keep working hard to create something. It's like, what is keeping you constantly trapped in this loop and always feeling like you're working towards something, and then there's always more for you to do, always more for you to achieve, and that you have never really fully arrived, right? I know what that used to feel like for me, and it felt so terrible. You feel like you're just treading on this treadmill that never really leads to anywhere, and you're constantly tired and exhausted. And guess what? This is what they want you to feel, right? This is what the system of capitalism is built upon. They want you to feel like so exhausted and always working yourself to the ground, and you're too tired to think and too tired to really look at the big picture and really see what is actually going on, right? Because it's like all of this is just built upon the idea that you have to produce, you have to work hard, you have to buy shit, you have to own shit, like you have to consume and produce, right? This is capitalism. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying to not make money because it's just kind of the air we breathe, right? In order to survive, like it's just what we have to do in the society. But at the same time, a lot of these concepts, they benefit those at the very top, right? The people who are on the board making a decision, and usually those people who are at the very top of big, big companies, like they're the ones that make decisions. They're what benefit, right? And us in the normal society, we're being taught that we only have value if we create, if we produce, if we contribute to a society by working really, really hard, by buying a lot of stuff, right? And by continuing to contribute to the system. And so this is what we want to really help you step out of so you can actually break out of your threshold of feeling like you have to always be working to make money, like working very, very hard to make money and to become successful and to climb up this ladder that they created for you, right? Instead, let's help you step out of this treadmill and become a magnet for abundance and to really, really settle into a huge reality of how you can work, a new paradigm of how to approach work, how to approach creating the kind of success that you want, how to approach um, making income and creating money in a way where you're not working yourself to the ground, right? That's what we really, really want you to look at. And it's because of all of these, like, like unconscious beliefs and rooted, like these internalized capitalistic patriarchal beliefs that were ingrained within our beliefs in our nervous system, that this is the reason why you find yourself consuming a lot more dopamine. You're like consuming excessive dopamine by gaming, social media, indulging in sugar or carbs, right? Just like excessive overload of all the things in order to cope with how you're actually feeling, which is you're not taking care of your mental well-being, your emotional well-being, your spiritual well-being. You're not taking care of those things. Guess what? Because the system of capitalism do not value that, right? And so you feel like that's not important. Do you see how all of this is related, right? And we're internalizing a lot of these unhealthy, toxic behaviors and beliefs within us. This is the reason why you're constantly feeling unmotivated and stuck in a rut. And then you're seeking other ways to make you feel better. This is the reason why you never have time for your friends or family, for your own social well-being, because guess what? It's not that important. And you barely have time for yourself. This is why you're always feeling that constant dread. It's like that constant that anxiety and that hum that's always in the background whenever you are out there socializing with friends or you're spending time with other people. Like you always feel guilty for taking a break and always feel guilty for not working, right? And you're regularly, you're emotionally unstable. You feel like you're functioning in a survival mode. This is the reason why. And so I really want to speak to this and really talk about how to really help you almost like go through this healing process to heal yourself from the inside out, to really remove yourself internally so you can step out of this treadmill of constantly needing to work and constantly feeling like everything is not enough and enter into a new state, right? And I also recently just launched a new program, a new 1 month program. It's called Heal and Thrive. It is all about helping you heal within so that you can really bring back more time and bring back more confidence back into your life, because this is what we all want. And it cannot be done. Like you cannot, it's like the more that you work, the more you're just gonna burn out, right? It's no longer a sustainable and organic way for you to really thrive in your life. And that's essentially what this whole program is about. This is a 5 week experience, and it is a 5 week one-on-one experience with me. So you will have 5 weeks of 5 sessions filled with amazing coaching, somatic healing, nervous system expansion, as well as we'll do a lot of workshopping to really help you heal from within and to step into a new frequency of how to truly thrive and how to truly come alive in your life. So again, this is a 5 week one-on-one experience. By the time that this episode is out, it will be on pre-sale right now until October 31st. So make sure that you check the show notes to learn more about it, to learn more information. All right. So back to what we were talking about. Uh, I want to talk about 3 beliefs that you might feel or you might have picked up growing up that might not be that helpful for you anymore. Okay, 3 beliefs when it comes to productivity and creating success that might not be that helpful for you moving forward. Okay, belief number 1, you can't rest because it is not productive. I'm laughing because I feel like so many of us, we have this belief that you're not allowed to rest and that you can't rest for too long because it's not productive, because it will mean that you're lazy, right? And what ends up happening is you try to give yourself a rest, but it's actually not true organic rest. Like you will try to rest, but then end up binge watching shows to a point you feel where you feel even more tired, or you doom scroll on social media, or you end up like consuming things in ways that's excessively, so that it ends up not really helping you. It's not really nourishing to your well-being, right? Maybe you're like overeating, or you are uh drinking too much, or you are, you know, gaming too much, shopping too much. These are all ways of how you call it rest, but it's not real rest. It's just a different way for you to seek for dopamine because you're so tired, you're so exhausted with your current work right now. Your work right now is boring. It is, you feel like there's so much pressure and obligation in your life right now for you to show off. So you're seeking these other ways, right, in order to make you feel better. And it's not truly letting yourself rest. Instead, what I want to offer is if we help you make your work fun, if we help you really connect deeper to the meaning of your job, and you actually let yourself rest organically, rest in ways that truly nourish you, I guarantee you that you will scroll on social media less, that you will seek out these numbing behaviors less, because your body unconsciously is actually seeking nourishment and rest. And it's just doing its best with what it knows how, right? And instead, we want to give it like real, natural ways of resting instead of consuming all these excessive dopamine, because that's not really contributing to your well-being. And there's also this other idea that if you rest, it means that nothing is happening. It means that you're just being still and that nothing is moving forward. And this means that you're lazy. Oh my gosh. I hear this so often growing up of that. Oh, if you're resting, then that means you're lazy. My family prides on who wakes up the earliest because somehow it's like so honorable. It's such a good thing that you wake up earlier and that you become productive, and that even despite not having enough sleep the day before, right? It's just a whole thing. And I think there's this Chinese idiom of Chinese saying that the early bird gets the worm, right? It's all built upon this idea that the earlier you wake up, you can sacrifice sleep, sacrifice rest, and you are the most valuable only when you're working, only when you wake up to become so productive, right? And so just kind of notice how often these different idioms and these sayings are ingrained in your culture. And I know a lot of it's like ingrained in my culture, in my immigrant roots, of that you can't rest because it's not productive. And okay, fine. Even if we do want to talk about productivity, right? Let's just say this urge and this need to be productive is in the air. Then let's talk about this, right? Do you know how productive it is to rest? Do you know there's like so many invisible, unconscious things that's happening within you when you are resting? Do you know, like when you're resting, that's where the cells in your body are actually getting to work to help bring back, you know, the right nutrients to calibrate all the things that you have went through the day before into your consciousness. And this is where you dream. I think the society prides so much on, and the Western society in general, it really values what you can see, but it doesn't really value the spiritual. It doesn't really value how you feel emotionally. So often I will have answers that I don't have, like questions or problems I can't solve in my brain. And then what ends up happening is after a good, nice, full rest, I'll wake up and all of a sudden the answer will come to me. All of a sudden, I would feel like my problem, it's not really a big deal anymore, right? Why does this happen? Because so many, right? Sure, if you call it productive, like so many good and like astounding things are like pieces are moving within you to make that happen. If anything, resting can be the most productive thing that you can do throughout your day. And this is something that you really want to remember is that it's totally not true at all that resting is not productive. It's the most productive thing that you can do for your well-being. And this is how to, if you don't want to burn out, this is how, right? It's through giving yourself the recognizing that you're human, you're not a machine in an assembly line. You're not here to produce all of the time, and you're not here to pump something out and to continue to create all of the time. You're here, and your worth and your value is in you simply existing, simply breathing in this world. And it might be nice if you produce, but it doesn't have to be what makes you feel like you have value and you are of, like you are worth something, right? This is all the idea with capitalism, right? Is that only if you are productive, then you are valuable. And you can't just be, and you can't just play, and you can't just let yourself rest and have fun, and people just love you, right? What if that can be the case? People love you because you exist, because you have amazing things that's already in your head, that's already in your brain. Um, People want you here. And that's the reason why you're here. It's not because you can create, it's not because you can produce, right? There's a lot of like this masculine, white, dominant energy of like you have to work hard, you have to be productive. And instead, we really want to honor our feminine, our yin, the energy within us that rests, that nourishes, that takes care of, that is here to listen, that's here to allow, that's here to trust, right? Those are all the things that can happen and that you can tune more into when you truly, truly let yourself rest. And here's the truth that they don't want you to know, okay? Is that true, real rest is how you actually break all of this constant hustle and burnout loop. Letting yourself truly rest is what will actually help you acclimate to a whole new level of your ability to make money, your ability to attract abundance, to create abundance, and truly allowing yourself rest is what will actually help you step out of this constant hustle and burnout loop to activate your own power within, your own creative genius within. And this is how you will actually feel happy and fulfilled through really nourishing yourself, nourishing your life with lots and lots of rest. I highly recommend that book, Rest is Resistance by Trisha Hersey. And it is really good in really helping you understanding the power of rest and what rest can do for you and how rest can really help you step out of this cultural grind to find true happiness and fulfillment in your life right now. Okay, now this brings me to the next belief that I also want to debunk. Okay, and it is this idea you have to work really hard. You need to work really hard. If you're not there yet, then that means you just haven't worked hard enough. And therefore, you have to push yourself to work even harder, to work more if you want to create the kind of life that you have. And don't get me wrong, I think just in our culture, I know that in my um Asian culture, we definitely value a lot of like the work ethics and like you have to work hard. But I think it gets to a point where you realize that true success, it actually can be created from hard work. Why? Because so many people in the world are working so hard right now, and not all of them are truly happy. Not all of them have truly created the kind of well-rounded success that they want. Some people work really, really hard for so many years, and they're still at the same place in their life, right? And so this is where you really want to question, is it really true that hard work creates success? And I want to speak to this because I know how so many of us we really value hard work. And I'm not saying don't work hard, but I'm saying that hard work is not the only thing that creates true happiness and success in your life. And you can only work hard to a certain extent. You know, eventually it's going to feel like you just continuously bumping against the wall and you're just working yourself to the ground and contributing to the system of capitalism, and you're not really living the kind of life that you want. So there's this concept in economics that I learned in university. It's called the Law of Diminishing Returns. So you can Google it to or ChatGPT it to really see what that means. Law of Diminishing Returns. And basically what it's that it measures um, the output by the time and the effort that you spend. And I like to think about this law and you apply this to my own productivity output and versus, right? So it's kind of like it looks like a bell curve. And on the let me see if I can get this right. On the x-axis is the output, and on the y-axis is the time and energy spent when I apply this to my own well-being, right? And to my own ability to create a kind of return, to create a kind of um, outcome that I want for my life. And it's this idea that in the beginning, your energy and the amount of effort, right, quote unquote, hard work that you put in, it does create output. But then eventually you reach a point where adding more effort, it doesn't really technically lead to more return back. And as you add one extra effort and one extra unit of hard work and effort and energy into it, it actually produces less and less in return. You actually create less and less outcome, the kind of outcome and the kind of output that you would like to have. You can think about as, let's say if you work for many, many hours into the day and you get to a point where you're like exhausted and tired, then guess what? Your ability to create, your ability to produce, to become creative and to write create the kind of the right videos, say the right things, it's not going to give you that much back in return, right? So it's kind of this whole concept. I know that when I work really late into the night, when I'm just like glued to the screen, there used to be a time where I do that, where I would do that work Monday to Sunday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. or even more. And the times late at night when I'm just like glued to a computer trying to produce something out of my brain and never gets anywhere. And it always leads to a negative experience and I end up suffering the next day as well because I'm like super tired from it. So if you think about it from this perspective, it's actually not true that you just need to keep working harder and you will create success. I mean, you could probably, but at what cost, right? You're going to end up sacrificing your well-being, pushing yourself, sacrificing your health, sacrificing your relationships along the process. It's just not worth it. And unless if you want to be a machine with no connection to other people, with no emotions, and who doesn't need to take care of your well-being, then yeah, right? It might work out for you. And so it's not true that you have that hard work necessarily creates success. Now, this is what they don't want to tell you about the truth of how to actually create success and how to actually become be able to be in flow with your life. Instead of thinking that hard work creates success, it's about really thinking, like really creating a new pattern within yourself to know that it is possible for you to create abundance while working less. It is possible for you to produce more if you want, right? Produce more, create the kind of success that you really want to have in your life while working less. Because what you're doing is you are stepping out of this hustle and burnout loop and really think outside of the box, put yourself outside of your comfort zone and step into a new standard, new kinds of doing work, expand your resources, get support and get help in any way that you can, and really believe that you can work less, get plenty of rest, and it is totally possible for you to get twice as much done as before. It is possible. And actually, what I want to offer is that in a world where AI is so prevalent right now, and it's like a lot of the humanness is taken out of it, what will actually help you succeed right now is if you double down on your humanness. Like, what will actually help you succeed right now in this age and era is when you work on believing that you make the most money when you are having fun and when you are following your joy and when you are um, seeking towards what makes you come alive instead of thinking that you have to go with what works for other people. You have to go with what works for the data, right? What the data says is actually about trusting this very intuitive part of you and knowing that you will make the most money when you seek what feels fun, when you seek what brings you joy. And like that is what actually creates your version of success. That is how you can attract abundance, is by constantly working towards what makes you happy and what makes you come alive. Okay, now the third belief that I want to speak to is this whole concept of time. Okay, the fact that, like, the belief that you just need to manage your time better. Right? If things are not working and if you have so many things going on, this means that you need to manage your time better. You need to be with more. You're burned out because you haven't managed your time enough. You haven't really know how to be with your time. And you're always late to things, and there are a lot of things that's on your plate right now. You're feeling overwhelmed. Okay, this is not true that you need to manage your time better. Why? Because here's the actual truth. You don't need to manage your time better. You don't need to download that one more time management tool. Okay. You don't need to attend one more webinar to teach you how to time block. What you need is to learn how to manage and calm the anxiety that exists right now in your brain. It's learning how to be with the thoughts and manage the thoughts that are actually in your head right now that's causing you to constantly overthink, to constantly worry, to always feeling anxious and look to the negative, right? Instead of giving yourself the benefit of the doubt. These are thoughts that exist in your head right now as a result of your experiences growing up. And these are patterns that you're very, very familiar with. You might be very familiar with feeling anxious. You're very familiar with worrying, right? If there is no problem, if there's nothing for you to worry about, you might actually get kind of antsy, like, is something wrong right now? Like, am I supposed to feel this calm and this relaxed? Right? This is actually what will actually help you instead of trying to manage your time. Right? Time is outside of you. What we actually want to do is tackle the root of the problem, which is helping you manage the anxiety that exists in your own mind. And right now, there could be a lot, like there could be like some like personal struggles that you might have, perhaps from your past. Maybe you're healing from a breakup, or you are healing from a failed event or failed launch that you did in the past. And it's causing your worry and your anxiety right now at work, or you're worried that you're not gonna make money, right? These are all things that we want to really help you address in your head. Because guess what? When you create more anxiety in your head and you're fearing the worst that can happen, what ends up happening is this energy attracts exactly what it is that you fear. If you're scared that money is going to run out and that's what you focus on, money is going to feel like it's running out. And then you do end up creating the reality where you're just seeing the evidence of what's true, right? You're just seeing money running out in your account. If you, right, if that's what you focus on. And so managing the thoughts of your own mind is actually really, really important. And actually, I would bet you that the reason why you feel like you don't have enough time right now is because you're spending a lot of time thinking right now. Like there's a lot, you're like spiraling a lot in your head. You are overthinking a lot in your head. You're stuck in analysis paralysis in your head. And do you know how much time that costs you? Like that's taking up so much time right now, right? Like I want you to really keep track and really start noticing how much time you spend per day just overthinking, just worrying. And if like all the time that you spend worrying could have been put onto actual execution of the right things that move the needle forward in your life and in your business. And you will be surprised with how much time it takes for you to get things done and how much more work you can get done at the end of the day if you stop worrying and stop overthinking so much in your head. Like this is what actually helps you create more time if you want to learn to manage your time better, is to manage the thoughts that's in your head. This is how you save time. And as well, it's also about really learning to trust yourself that you can just be here. There's nothing else for you to chase after. Um, you can be here, and what you've done today, it is enough, right? It is enough today. You've done enough today to reach your goals. Like it is enough of what you have done today. Instead of feeling like nothing is never enough, you have to keep on working, you have to keep on producing all the time. Um, Instead of thinking that you need to manage your time better, it's also about being able to set strong boundaries with other people, but most importantly, setting strong boundaries with yourself and really shutting, like almost like laser focusing on what's your task in front of you and and just focusing on execution in front of you instead of getting distracted by all the other things that's around you, right? And if you're someone whose brain is neurodivergent, and if you're kind of closer to an ADHD spectrum, kind of like me, then it's about working with your own nature to give yourself ways of how, like, what will help you concentrate and focus, right? For example, like for me, I have to be moving, especially true if you have an ADHD brain, is that moving actually helps you focus better. So what I like to do is I like to walk on my treadmill when I work. I like to have my standing desk and always be moving around. I take lots of breaks. I go on lots of walks because when I go for a walk, that's actually how I think the most. Like that's actually when I'm the most productive is when I walk so much, when I'm constantly moving, right? Like, so you really need to understand your own design, and I'll definitely help you work and understand and tap into your own design as well in my program Heal and Thrive to really help you not need to work in a linear way, right? To really find the right ways of what will help you focus better and how to help you set strong boundaries with yourself so that you can actually get work done and that you can actually get the right work done, right? So instead of telling yourself that you need to manage your time better, manage your brain better, manage your nervous system capacity, like manage your energy capacity better, right? And how you can do that is working on being comfortable with rest, working on being comfortable with letting yourself just be and being stillness and be present with yourself, right? And learning how to focus and set strong boundaries with yourself as a ADHD person. When you tell yourself you don't have enough time, how do you feel? Right? This is the other thing to really ask yourself. How do you feel when you tell yourself you don't have enough time? When I say this to myself, I immediately feel anxious. I'm like, I don't have enough time. Like I feel anxious. I feel like I'm like, I feel a little bit desperate. I get panic and I start to do things wrong, or I'll like do keep myself busy, but not really work on the right things. I'll just keep myself busy because I think I don't have enough time. Right? It brings up anxiety, right? And when you feel anxious, this is actually the worst way for you to get things done because you don't make clear decisions. You can't think clearly. You, like in general, the quality that you create is just not as good as well, right? So the thought you don't have enough time might not be helping you right now. And also really ask yourself, where else in your life do you feel like you don't have enough? Because most likely, like how we think about one thing is also how we think about other things. If you think that you don't have enough time, very likely, perhaps you might also think you don't have enough in your bank account. You might think that you're not doing enough. You might think that you like other people are not enough. Maybe you think your partner is not doing enough. Maybe you think that your assistant is not helping you enough, right? All of this not enoughness is just breathing from this energy that you're feeling, and it's just creating lots of scarcity. So you look around you, everything and everywhere that you see is not enough. And is there a part of you that deep down believes that you are also not enough? And so therefore you have to work more, therefore you have to achieve more. Do you see how all of this is all related and is all connected? And this is exactly the reason why I created the program Heal and Thrive. This is a 5-week one-on-one experience with me with 5 sessions filled with a mix of coaching, nervous system expansion, workshopping to really help you apply and heal yourself from a lot of this toxic paradigm and step into a new way to approach productivity differently, to create an organic way of how you can flow through your day and not sacrifice your mental well-being and not sacrifice the things that bring you joy and the things that makes you come alive in your life. I also want to talk about the weekly breakdown and what that could look like, or what that will look like. So first week, we're going to work on helping you find the cure in your hurt. And then in week 2, we are working on helping you change your unhealthy struggle and your unhealthy habit from within. So that coming out, you don't need those habits anymore for you to help you feel better in your life. You can seek other ways and really focus on the right things that truly matter for you, right? So we're really talking about what's creating this loop for you and how to really help you step out of that. And week 3 is a little bit of an integration, and we'll do a deep dive coaching to really do lots of coaching on your current life right now and really help you integrate the teachings and the materials from the past 2 weeks and really help you integrate it and acclimate to this new reality and this new way of how you can approach your work and how you can approach your goals. And in week 4, we are working on helping you becoming a magnet for organic productivity and abundance. Okay. So instead of subscribing to the hustle burnout culture, we are helping you create your own organic way of being productive and sinking into flow and attracting abundance, right? Notice how I say attract abundance instead of chasing abundance. Those are two very, very different ways of approaching success and create and reaching the goals that you want. Okay. And in the last week, in week 5, we are working on helping you settle for more, really helping you raise and increase your energetic standards in your life right now, help you settle for more. And how do we help you cultivate a sense of trust and self-belief in yourself so that you can feel so much more confident with yourself coming out? So this is a very immersive 5-week one-on-one experience with me where we are really going to help you heal from the inside out and transform your reality so that you can really create so much more time for all the things that you love and bring more confidence back into your life so that you can really be on the momentum where you are working towards the things that you love, where you are really thriving in your life. As well, if you've been thinking about one-on-one life coaching with me, working in life coaching with me in a much longer form, this 1 month experience, well, not 1 month, 5-week experience would be a great opportunity for you to, it's a lower, more affordable option for you to, really experience what life coaching is like and really help you change and transform and really work with a life coach and really see what that is like for you. So this is a really great way for you to experience it for yourself. So by the time that this episode is out, there will be a few more days left for the pre-sale option. So pre-sale ends October 31st. Everything, the link to learn more, to sign up, it is in the show notes. So make sure that you click into it to check out for yourself. And if you have any questions, then just DM me on Instagram at Daring Living, or you can email me as well, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. And I look forward to really, really help you heal and bring back more time and confidence back into your life. All right, I will talk to you soon. Bye.